All right, let's try and do this. I have some things on here I need. We're ready to rock and roll. Oh, sorry.
You're listening to the podcast where we talk about life, sports, family, and everything in between. Welcome to Just Talking Out Loud with your hosts, Ron and Terry.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Just Talking Out Loud. I'm Ron.
And I'm Terry.
And happy Valentine's Day to my beautiful Valentine.
Oh, thank you. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, to all you wonderful people out there. Hope you're having a good Valentine's Day. And there were some questions.
Coming up this week.
It's coming up Friday. Yep, it's coming up Friday. And have you ever gotten anything weird? You know, like you've been in the dating world. I haven't dated as much as you have.
Why do you say that?
Well, I mean, you had boyfriends. I didn't have any boyfriends.
You had a couple of girlfriends.
Maybe one serious one besides you. Not as many, but I just wondered if you got anything like really weird for Valentine's Day. You know what I mean? Like a strange gift that I guess.
I was told things were ordered, but then we broke up.
All things were ordered.
Well, but it wasn't nothing weird.
Oh, okay.
It was candies and flowers and stuff, but that was the,
no lingerie.
White hand, white hair, white hat, white jacket, white, and he danced with Jimmy, and I said,
oh, that, yeah, we talked about that before.
Yeah.
Is I was trying to think of all the Valentine's Day that we've spent together. What I might have
given me.
No, I had that little furry thing that said, I think it said,
I love you more than I could ever tell you. It's a little.
Oh, I thought it said Happy Valentine's Day.
You gave me a little bear that says Happy Valentine's Day on it. You may have given me this Smurf that says you want to Smurf around for Valentine's Day one year.
Yeah, I think I did give you that one. I think I did.
I don't know if that was a Valentine's. That could have been another holiday.
It could have been.
Yeah, it was a little green monster that had a sign, I love you more than I could ever tell you.
Yeah. So, yeah, I remember that one.
And there was a red and white bear that said I love you on it or something. You got me.
I don't. Oh, that thing was green, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was green.
The one that said love you. Yeah, That's right. Where did it go?
I don't know. It might still be on top of my dresser, or it might be in the attic.
It might be buried.
Yeah. Trying to think, and I know you've gotten me candy quite a few times. And
yeah, I mean, I think that's
when I had back surgery. I remember that box of candy because it just put me in the bathroom.
We're actually going to talk about
just looking at it put me in the bathroom.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to talk about like things people do on Valentine's Day. Being that it's a Friday, that makes things a little bit. Although it's going to be really, I would think, be a lot busier
that night. Yeah, that night.
Because
but some people will
wait till Saturday, maybe,
or maybe even go a weeknight just to avoid the crowd on Friday.
Right. But we're going to talk a little bit about things that people do to celebrate Valentine's Day, and also the candy itself. We have some Valentine's Day candy preferences across the United States.
Chocolates are always
certain treats. The conversation hearts, little hearts that have the little. They're very popular in California, Colorado, and Connecticut. So, which, there's a little that said,
I love you. They say, I love you. Want to,
we have
kiss me.
Kiss me.
I mean, there's different ones there's a whole bunch of sayings on them, isn't there?
Yeah. I wish now that I had a bag of them just to see what some of them are, but I didn't even look that up to think.
Those have never been our favorite candy.
No, they've never been.
But we've had them quite a few times.
I know I've had them, but I don't know that I've ever thought that's what I want to get you for Valentine's Day. You know what I mean? That's not.
Usually it's jewelry or candy or flowers.
Yeah. So I looked
up
a
little Seppi.
The beginning and like how it all started. It dates back to ancient Rome and the festival of, now here's what I did so I can say it right. Oh, hold on.
Lupercalia.
Lupercalia. That was the festival of Lupercalia, but it wasn't really associated with any kind of candy back then. By the Victorian era, that's when they started giving gifts. That became a major expression of love, and candy became part of this tradition. And then chocolate became linked to love. And Terry and I actually, this is like a repeat for us. And because we had started a podcast, and she had one mic, I had one mic. And I think that's
The sound
part of the
wasn't
problem.
good.
There was two different mics and it just didn't work. And
Although
so now
we did
we're,
the one before that way. No, we didn't. You had the other same mic that
yeah,
I did.
I did. I had the same, and it worked
Yeah.
okay. I made it work. But then it's so loud, I can't get rid of them. And it was cutting us in anyway.
The furnace running.
So what I wanted to tell you is that, I've been reading a lot more about if you have a video to go with us, it seems to really boost, especially on YouTube, boost it. And so I was looking up cameras just to see if
People
there's
want
something.
to see our ugly mugs.
Yeah, they want to see our ugly faces to go along. And I'm surprised when you start looking at people that are on the internet and some of the, like this one guy I just was watching today. He's 61 years old. He got fired from his job. And so he started a channel. And I thought, okay, well, let's see what he talks about. He basically just talks about, the job he had. It was okay for a while, and then it didn't go.
Got worse.
It got worse. And then he talks about, he does the Uber Eats type thing. He does that to make money, and he's never asked for money, but I guess people do send him some money, and then YouTube gives him so much money. But the thing that got me was he had 6,000 subscribers, and I'm thinking, what is he doing that
we're not?
people are, and I guess the only difference is
He's
on video, and people want to see, they want to kind of connect. Not that everybody, because he said, one of the commenters said, "You're just out to get money." And he said, "I'm not out to get money. I just tell him my story." And every day he goes, he does something different and takes the camera with him. And
so he takes the camera with him
sometimes,
on Uber Eats
depending
and stuff. Sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes he was delivering to one time. Then he came back and said how cold. He was in Canada. So he said his thing is in Canada. But so anyway, this camera system is on sale, but it says it's for tennis, but they're real little cameras, and it all can be done with no wires, which would be kind of cool,
Like
not to have any more
wireless, yeah.
wires.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need any more wires. The problem that we have, though, is where do you do it?
And space to set it up and not have to tear it down constantly.
And it looks nice because you want it to be kind of a nice
I
area.
don't really want it to look like this with the card table in the back room. With
Although you'd be surprised.
With the bed up.
You'd be surprised.
People will.
Some of the shows, but I mean, the downstairs is kind of a nice when you see it.
Yes.
But the problem is, it's that the furnace makes so much freaking noise that I don't know how I would get the sound
unless you
out.
just put your blankets up there at that end.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to test it. But anyway, I don't know if people would be interested or not seeing our ugly mugs. But we're not really ugly, are we?
I don't know.
We're okay.
We're okay. We're not like, ew, yeah.
So anyway,
we're not like, oh,
I really
look
got
at
off.
that.
Yeah.
Look at them groceries either.
Oh, yeah. So getting off, we got way off. So I'm sorry. I just kind of veered off there for some reason. So chocolate became linked to love in the 17th century when physicians prescribed it as an aphrodisiac because they said it might have stimulated romance. And the reason I got off subject is because Terry and I had done all this and it just didn't sound good. And so here we are again, and we're in the I guess the kids' room. In the playroom. We have done some back here in the beginning.
Yeah.
We actually do them back here.
I mean, if we folded the bed up
yeah,
all the time, we could leave something up in here.
We could start putting puzzles together.
Yeah. We used to put puzzles together and stuff.
Although that thing, I almost bought that thing with it. You can spin it.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like it too, but I don't know if I want to spend $60.
I know. Everything costs.
Everything's expensive.
And I've been looking at, thyroid problems and the lack there of our medical system in them, and there's a lot more out there that's not from our personal physicians now. And I know I never have done well on the Synthroid or levothyroxine, whatever it is. I've always taken a vitamin that helps me more, but I must not have one of the major problems, because sometimes that doesn't help people and they don't lose weight and they don't, or gain weight, or their levels look good in their blood work, but they still feel horrible. And these doctors are now saying that's because there's either something wrong with your pancreas, your liver, or your T4s are not converting to your T3s, or your liver is toxic and it's not changing it over, using it properly. So I guess they have more tests that you can take, but your regular doctor is not going to order them. I don't know if we all started bothering our regular doctors. That would work. Would they start, changing the healthcare to get to the basic root of the problem rather than just because they said Hashimoto's and everything. It's the same. They do the same thing for Hashimoto's that they do for thyroid. They just give you the Synthroid or the levothyroxine.
Well, levothyroxine is not good for you either.
No.
They say it hurts your bones. And they just did a study on it. And I think I've been on it for a while.
Yeah.
I guess it affects people differently. It just depends on the individual.
It didn't seem to help do anything for me.
Yeah.
So I'm on a vitamin.
While your mic is
which seems
bouncing.
To probably because I'm wiggling my legs
you're fine.
back and forth. I'm a little cold.
Are you cold?
Not
When
real.
you should have got you a blanket.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
I have a sweater.
You do have a sweater on, but I thought it was not too bad back here.
It seems like it should be warmer than
You'd think, because I didn't do it.
front.
I thought we were going to do it downstairs, but I thought it'd be too
do
cold.
this podcast.
Yeah, the podcast. Yeah, we're going to do it downstairs.
Define what you mean.
Yeah,
do it
the
by,
podcast.
do it. The
We're going to do it
podcast
downstairs.
Yeah.
But I thought, I could turn that little heater on. But then I thought,
The heater did seem to make
it
warm.
works down there. It does work well. In the 1800s, Richard Cadbury, that name should sound familiar. He capitalized on this by introducing the very first Valentine's Day chocolate boxes in heart shapes. And he would put different designs and cupids. And this was a brilliant move on his part. And that's really kind of how it cemented the chocolate as a Valentine tradition. And then Conversation Hearts, which we just talked about, which is really big in California, Colorado, and Connecticut. They became real big in 1847 when a Boston pharmacist, Oliver Chase, invented a machine to simplify lozenge production. So, you want to put a lozenge in your mouth. And his invention led to the founding of Necco, New England Confectionery Company, and candy hearts were used for medical purposes. But by the 1860s, his brother found a way to print romantic messages on the candies. We were just talking about this. And the first messages that were written on them were a lot longer than we've come to know. I don't know how you would read it. They would say like this. This was actually beyond those little candy hearts. It said, "Married in white, you have chosen right." Eventually, they were shortened to iconic phrases like "be mine," "kiss me,"
"love you,"
"love you." I can't remember some of the other ones. In recent years, new players like gourmet chocolate brands, M&M's, have I love M&M's, have joined the candy sales. Candy sales, 36 million heart-shaped boxes will be sold before Valentine's Day or around Valentine's Day. And some companies are adding edgy phrases to candy hearts. For example, Sour Patch Kids and Reese's are now joining the Valentine bandwagon. Reese's, is that one of your favorite candies?
Reese's is one of my favorites.
I thought so.
Put peanut butter in it and I'm there.
So those are just some of the origins of Valentine's
Peanut
Day.
butter and caramel.
That's
and
you.
Mint.
That's all you. And I know you're mint. You're a thin mint person.
Yeah.
So some of the things, heart-shaped boxes of chocolate are huge tradition, and they're really loved in Georgia, Indiana, and Massachusetts. M&M's are favored in Arizona, Iowa, and Pennsylvania. Hershey Kisses in Arkansas, Delaware, and Texas. Chocolate Hearts are preferred in Maine, Montana, and Rhode Island. Cupid Corn, I don't know what that is.
I don't know. Is that like candy corn?
It just says a Valentine's themed. Oh yeah, candy corn. You're right. Popular in Nebraska and West Virginia. Candy necklaces are huge in Alabama. Apparently, it shows a preference for candy during the Valentine season. So, just some of the things that people love, and candy's candy. I think if you give them candy,
sugar
doesn't matter. It's sugar,
which is
sugar.
Not good for us.
No, it's
no matter
not.
What? And
It's not good.
I'm trying to get totally away from sugar.
So it even says in early days, and I didn't see this on here, that examples were married in white. You've chosen right. And the other one said, how long shall I have to wait? Please be considerate. That's a long message to put on that little heart, candy heart.
How long shall I wait?
How long shall I have to wait? Please be considerate. Wow. That's long. And then true love was the other one that they write now. Fax me. Now they're putting like fax me, page me, hot stuff. 2000 quirky is now coming with LOL, selfie, and all kinds of other little gems they're putting on these candies. So we're not eating candy. We have candy in the house, but Terry's getting away from that. She's getting rid of the sugar.
I'm trying to get the sugar out of my system. So
Eliminate
I quit craving it
sugar.
because over Christmas, the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas, I've been eating cookies and all those sweets that I made for all those occasions. And now I'm craving it and having hot flashes again.
You are coming up with hot flashes again. That is true.
Night sweats mainly, not really hot flashes during the day, but cold spells too. And I think it's part of it is the sugar. And when I get off of the sugar, I was sleeping better and I was not having as many menopausal symptoms.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're trying to get the sugar out of our system. What'd you eat? You made beans today. Lots of beans.
I made lots of beans to put on salads for protein.
How many different beans did you make?
Black beans, small red beans, a little bit of light red kidney beans, navy beans, chickpeas,
Well, no
and
wonder
lentils.
you're
And
in
lentils.
the kitchen all day. That's why.
And lentils I made.
They don't take 10 minutes to cook.
No, I cooked them all in the same pot though.
Oh.
And lima beans. A few. I just put a few.
You like
I
lima?
don't.
I didn't
no,
think
I
you
don't
like lima beans.
I don't, and I don't. Especially don't the only ones I could find when I was looking for beans. 6 months ago when I did the Mediterranean diet. I'm sorry.
No, it's not you.
Okay,
Hold
but
on. Let me
6 months ago, the only ones I could find were the large navy bean or lima beans, which I'd rather have the baby lima beans.
Sorry, folks.
And so that's the only thing I had in the house because I didn't run to the grocery store before I did this. And I just thought I'm going to eat salads with a little bit of beans for my protein and just try and clean the sugar out of my system for the next 6 to 8 days.
Cleaning out.
Yep.
Is there going to be a lot of farting going on?
I don't know.
Because
We'll
actually,
find out.
farting will strengthen a relationship. Should we talk about that?
You did. Yeah, we did go over this.
Yes, we did.
Yesterday.
We'll talk about if you really want to make your relationship strong. If you ever feel the need to, cut the cheese or pass the gas, but you want to hold on to it, you may be putting your relationship in jeopardy. At least that's the conclusion of one study done on tooting in relationships. Apparently, relationship guru Cynthia Powell said that couples who get over the initial embarrassment of breaking wind in front of each other are more likely to stay together and live healthier lives. She says once couples get over the initial embarrassment of farting in front of one another, it seems like it opens up a whole new period of openness, honesty, and trust. I think we trust each other pretty well.
Yeah.
We let it rip. Some are loud. You always say, "Do you feel any better? Do you feel better? You feel better?"
Well, some of them do make you feel better.
Some do. You just feel like a release.
Especially if you're coming down with the flu or sometimes that gas hurts.
So don't be afraid to fart in front of your partner.
I think Rigby's gas in the last episode, in the one MRE episode, I think it hurt him because he seemed to grin afterwards, like,
I'm sure he did because it hurt all the rest of us.
The rest
that
of
smell.
us, it was
Jeez, a
stinky.
whiz.
He must have ate something rotten.
And sometimes you get into bed and you don't feel like getting out because Terry said yesterday you should be getting out of bed if you have to fart, right? Didn't you say get out?
No, you're supposed to
go to the bathroom.
Excuse yourself and go to the bathroom. And we've heard people have major fights over this, couples.
Yeah.
That they don't want their significant other
Farting.
to pass gas in their presence. They want them to go to the restroom and pass their gas and then come back.
That's easy to do if you can do it, but sometimes it squirts out as you're walking. You get the walking farts all the way to the bathroom.
Or this,
because your dad was huge on that. He'd get up to get something to drink and then he'd turn around and say, "Did you see that rat running across?"
He always blamed him.
I don't know why it was the rat. He should have blamed it on the dog or something. But so passing gas makes the relationship stronger. And then it gets to a point where we've been married 40 years coming up this year, and we don't even close the door to the bathroom anymore. I mean, we do when there's people here, but
not
it's just
always.
You and me. It's like, whatever.
Well, especially in the middle of the night, I run
Oh,
for it. If I got to pee in the middle of the night, I got to
door?
run for it and get myself on the potty before I'm
not
running
going
down
to
my
follow
legs.
you in there, that's for sure. I mean, I know what you're doing.
Although I have gotten to pee in the middle of the night and passed out in the bathtub. Said, "Oh no!" Got there and said, "Ron, you better come in here." And you kept me from knocking myself out cold. Well, I did pass out, but I didn't hit my head because.
I mean, if you've been together more than, what's the cutoff? Like,
I don't
is
know,
it 5 years?
I don't know.
After 5 years, you've seen it all, I would think.
Well, especially if you've had a baby in those 5 years.
That's what I mean. You've seen it all. You've done it all.
I mean, once I had a baby, everyone saw it all.
I mean, you know what? I mean, I guess with
I went
the kids,
through 3 shifts of doctors with my first baby. You were standing in the wrong place for the episiotomy, and you went pure white. I thought you were going to hit the floor.
It wasn't the best position to be in, that's for sure. But hey,
between you and the 3 sets of doctors and nurses that I went through,
your legs are spread wide.
Everyone saw it, and it was like, well, there's no modesty left now.
Yeah, they were bringing people in from the street. Hey, look at this.
Yes, yeah, they were it felt like they were training people. Hey, she's at a 3. Okay, she's at a 4. I'm like, golly, if they ever come in and say I haven't moved any, I'm going to kick someone. And then they tied my legs down.
Yeah, it was kind of kinky.
Yeah, they tied my legs
down. That was
down
start of the kinkiness.
because they broke my water, and then that gave me more pain. And I said, if you reach up in there and try to turn that baby one more time, don't threaten doctors. They just go ahead and do what you feel like.
That was baby number 1. So I had this story. We're going to read about going out, what people like to do for Valentine's Day, some of the things they do. But I saw this story and I thought it was kind of interesting. A man was sitting on the edge of the bed, watching his wife as she gazed at herself in the mirror. With her birthday approaching, he asked what she'd like as a gift. She said, "I'd like to be 8 again," still staring in the mirror. On the morning of her birthday, the gentleman woke up. He prepared a big bowl of Cocoa Pops and then took her to an Adventure World theme park. What a day he put on every ride in the park. The death slide, the wall of fear, the screaming roller coaster, everything available. 5 hours later, they staggered out of the theme park. Her head was spinning and her stomach was upside down. Next, he took her to McDonald's, where he ordered her a Happy Meal with extra fries and a chocolate shake. Then it was off to the movie theater for the latest superhero saga, complete with popcorn, soda, her favorite candy, which was M&M's. What a fabulous adventure. Finally, she wobbled home with her husband and collapsed into the bed, utterly exhausted. He leaned over to her and with a big smile and lovingly he says, "Well, dear, what was it like being 8 again?" Her eyes slowly opened and her expression suddenly changed. "I meant my dress size, you idiot." The moral of the story, even when a man is listening, he's going to get it wrong.
I meant my dress size.
She meant her dress size, not to be 8 again. So there you go. I thought, yeah.
So he gave her a day of
being
that
eight again.
an 8-word
Literally.
year-old would love.
He went all the way back to 8, and she's like, dress size, you idiot. So he's, even when he's listening.
So he should have gave her liposuction instead.
Yes, he should have got her that, what is that, Sonobolo? It's supposed to be a lot more, less evasive than the,
liposuction.
it's supposed to be something with, I forget how they do, laser or something.
Yeah.
Like suck all that fat out of there. Anyway.
So it can just grow back.
I thought that was a kind of a neat story, because even when you're listening, sometimes we still get it wrong. So, should we do this after a break? We'll take a break. Oh, I'll tell you what, we'll do this. We'll do a thing about falling asleep, and then we're going to run down some things that people like to do on Valentine's together as a couple. But we talked about this yesterday too. Have you ever had trouble falling asleep? And I don't know if you've ever tried this. Seeing we tried it,
I didn't try.
You probably
last
went
night.
right to sleep last night. You're laying in bed, and your brain runs through, this inlet highlight reel of worries and embarrassing moments. And a lot of us reach for our phone. We turn on Netflix or just, for whatever reason, play a game. And the thoughts just keep racing. And they say there's actually a better solution. It's called cognitive shuffling. This sleep hack went viral on TikTok, of course. It involves repeating random words in your head to drown out anxious thoughts. The more random the words, the better it works. Like if you think elephant, then you say bread, maybe yo-yo. What if I could remember this if I ever,
elephant,
my head's ever.
Bread, yo-yo.
Candle.
Clouds.
So you don't want to, so you wouldn't, see what I almost said? I almost said rain.
Yeah.
And it says not to do the two together.
Right.
So you would do clouds and maybe you do mud. But then that brings in the rain, which makes the mud.
Yeah.
So my brain would still do it.
They shouldn't be related in any way.
That's what it says.
I would think that, a lot of people do their white noise or their sea, the sea waves coming in and out. Listening to something like that might help you more. I don't know.
Did you, when we went on vacation, and I think they had it for Beckett, did you happen to notice it? I mean, did it bother you, or did you didn't have it on until?
No, it was on, and it bothered me a little, some, but not a lot. I mean,
did you get used to it after a while?
Yeah, no? And then I didn't sleep in there the last night because it smelled so bad because the water.
The mustiness.
Because
you slept down there.
They still put him down in there, and
I was upstairs with Beckett.
Yeah, you were upstairs with Fenn.
Fenn. Yeah, I was upstairs.
And I ended up on the bottom of your bed that last night.
Yes, you did, and he was downstairs by himself
because I couldn't stand the musty smell down there.
He probably shouldn't have been down there either. Anyway, according to sleep expert Dr. Shelby Harris, this method works because it gives your mind a structured way to stay distracted from the stress and the worries. When we try to sleep, our brains are no longer busy with daily tasks, making it easier for concerns to bubble up to the surface. So the idea is to try and get your brain away from all that other stuff, if you can, by thinking up odd words to say. Hopefully it helps you if you're having trouble
Isn't that
sleeping.
kind of the same concept of counting sheep?
I don't know, because
if you can actually picture the sheep that's the
counting,
only thing,
I don't know.
Jumping over a fence or something.
Sometimes I think about winning the lottery and what I would do with it.
Yeah, that again. Yeah.
And I don't know. I kind of take my,
because
like, what
your
would
life
I do?
Would change because you never
change.
had to worry about money things.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
you wouldn't want to change.
You still would
anything,
have problems, though.
Would you change anything?
Nothing major.
I always think about that. Like, I don't want to say I'd change anything, because if I change something, that means, and again, I've had a blessed life, so people might think totally different than I do, which is probably normal. But my thing is, if I say I want to change something, then does that mean I wouldn't have the kids? I wouldn't have you. I wouldn't have the friends I have. I wouldn't have, you know what I mean? Like, where does it take you if you change something
those
major?
Money would change you in your tax bracket and worries like that, and maybe being able to help those you love.
Yeah, I just think about hitting the lottery and having the kids surprise them with, like, here's an envelope.
What would you surprise them?
Not telling anybody.
Would you surprise them with cash, or would you buy them a new car? Would you buy them some kind of surprise?
I just give them the money and say, do what you want and don't bother me.
And don't ask me for
And don't
no
ask
more.
us. This is it. You know,
Yeah.
depending on how much you win, but I that's how I would do it. Here's this is how you want to pay your house off. You want to do whatever. Hopefully, I mean, it'd be nice to be able to do that, but it's a dream. That's why
I always say I would want us all to go to Hawaii or some kind of vacation together.
Yeah, I think that would be
Just to bind family time into that.
I remember somebody retired when I worked at Fairmont, and they apparently had a nice little
Retirement.
nest egg saved up, and they took everybody to Disney. And I thought that was pretty cool.
That
The
would
whole
be a nice
family.
one,
And I
the
thought that
whole
was pretty
family,
neat.
yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you can do it for 7 to 10 days, staying
Yes.
right in the park.
And I think they
and
did.
just,
They stayed.
That
And
would be nice.
That's nice. Yeah. If you could do that, I think that'd be great.
Grandkids.
Yes.
and
Everybody go
kids
down. And
yeah.
it'd be a lot of fun. So anyway, when we come back, we're going to talk about celebrating love, what couples like to do and what they enjoy doing for the day. And we'll do that coming right back after this. So you want to start a podcast. Maybe you're listening to the show today and you're thinking to yourself, boy, that would be fun. And I have a lot of things I want to talk about. Maybe today is the day. Maybe you're looking for a new marketing channel, or you have a message that you'd like to share with the world, or you just think it would be fun to have a talk show. Now, it is a lot of fun just talking to your friends. Maybe you have ideas about sports, life, or whatever your passion is. Today's the day. Podcasting is easy, it's inexpensive, and it's a fun way to expand your reach online. And where should you go? Buzzsprout. It's hands down the easiest, and it's the best way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. And your show, believe it or not, can be online and listed in all the major podcast directories in minutes, like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcast, and you wouldn't believe how many more there are. And they make it simple to join all of them. Podcasting is not hard when you have the right partners, and Buzzsprout is the team to join. They are passionate about your success. You can join over 1,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout. We're one of them. We've been on Buzzsprout from the beginning, and I'm so glad I joined up. I had a little bit of an issue, emailed a customer service rep, and they got back to me within 5 minutes, and they had me calm down. It wasn't that hard, and what I was doing was my fault. So here's all you got to do. Click on the link in the show notes. It tells Buzzsprout we sent you. You can support our show, and if you get a paid plan, you get a $20 gift certificate from Amazon. Now, here's some other things that Buzzsprout provides. Like, you get a great-looking podcast website. Now, a lot of people think, oh, I got to get a website, got to pay for that. No, you don't. They provide it for you. Also, they have audio players. Maybe you have a website, and all you want to do is promote your show on your own website. You can do that with their audio players, and you can also drop it into other websites and on Facebook or Twitter, and they help you do it all. Believe me, Buzzsprout is the way to go. They've helped me immensely, and I've had a lot of fun doing it. So maybe today is a day for you to start your podcast. And if you do, check out the link below in the show notes and get a $20 Amazon gift card. So is there anything you would like to know? Friday, I'm not off Friday, so you'll be babysitting. Do you want to go out afterwards, or do you want to just...
Probably not.
No.
I'm usually tired.
Yeah, you usually are. All right, so we won't
Maybe
be going out.
Saturday or Sunday. I don't know. Maybe Saturday or Sunday. I like to not cook, but
No, you shouldn't have to cook.
it depends on who's doing what.
We could order
Because,
something. I guess.
Saturday or Sunday, the kids may ask us to watch their kids.
Well, that's
so
true.
They
It
can
is
have,
Valentine's Day.
So they can have
I
an
didn't think
hour
about
to
that.
themselves to go out.
Yeah, that's true.
That limits our time.
It does. So what do people like to do, right? So
we like to go out to dinner.
What is the number one thing?
We like
It's
to go
dining
out.
out.
To dinner. Mhm.
A romantic dinner tops the list. It could be high-end dining,
Which we've done before.
or it could be a bistro. People like to go to a bistro, a local spot. We've
Some
done a lot
people
of,
like the breweries or the
Yeah.
bar and grills.
Yeah.
Like
whatever.
if there's a favorite food that a certain one.
Bonus points, it says here, for candlelight and wine. What was the name of the restaurant that I was told by a gentleman used to come into the store. We had a video store.
down the Italian one.
Elm Grove? No.
Yeah, it was down in Elm Grove,
You remember
between
that
Elm
name?
Grove and Wheeling.
Had the red and
Yeah,
the
red and white jacket, and it was an Italian. Oh,
It was in a house.
yes.
What was the name of that?
We used to go there.
I don't think it's there
for
anymore.
Valentine's Day, and we used to go there. I don't
can't-
think it is there
The
anymore.
food was amazing.
Yes.
And
It was
we
an
drove
Italian
down
restaurant.
because he kept saying, you got to
And they
take your
had,
wife
yeah.
down there. And
They had candles on the table and red and white tablecloths.
if you know the name of
And
this
I
restaurant,
can't remember the
please
name.
text us because this was down in Elm Grove. It was an Italian restaurant. It was right off the exit too. It wasn't far off the
No,
exit.
it was on the way. You had to go towards Wheeling.
Right. Yeah. And you would get off the exit and you actually turn
It was
back
off of 40,
towards-
wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. I can't remember the name of it.
I thought I had it, and then it left me.
We'll think of it after the podcast. But if you
yeah.
guys know what it is, please text us because we'd love to hear from you. Number 2, what do you think number 2 is? We already said dining out. What do you think number 2 people would like to do together as a couple?
I don't know. The younger people might want a spa day or something. But
Actually, that's number 6.
okay.
Okay, spa dates is
yeah.
number 6, complete with massages.
A movie.
You got it. Number 2, movie night. Couples are flocking to the theater to see the latest rom-com or even cozy up at home for
to
a
watch
movie marathon.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, this listen to these
Or
movies.
binge watch
You
shows.
ready?
Yeah.
You'll like this. The Notebook, which I don't even think we've ever seen. I know you've seen this. 10 Things I Hate About You,
Oh yeah.
which is one
One
of
of
your
mine.
favorites. And also, what was the 10 Things I Hate About You, and what's the one where the girl is kind of like frumpy and they make a bet where he has to like fix her up? What's the name? See, why is it
Why is it that
we
this
can't
is
think of
leaving us?
nothing? Anyway, we watched movies over Christmas. We watched that one movie we
10
watched.
Things I Hate About You.
She's all
16 Candles, and She's All That.
She's all that.
Mm-hmm.
And we watched we watched a movie called, I think we talked about this already, Hot Frosty.
Yeah.
And he was muscular, but he wasn't really a looker.
I didn't think so.
You know, you thought Hot Frosty.
Maybe some people like that.
Well, no,
look,
I'm not. I mean, yeah, I was expecting something.
like a drop dead gorgeous guy.
I mean, it was okay. It wasn't, believe me, it wasn't a great movie.
No, it was kind of cheesy.
It was very cheesy. So
Very
anyway,
cheesy.
number 2 was movie night, and you already had number 6, spa dates. What do you think number 3 would be? This is a little surprising.
Something to do together.
Yes. And this is surprising. This, I'll give you a hint. It doesn't involve going out. It actually is staying in the house, and it doesn't involve sex. But it's in the house. You do something in the home together. It's kind of surprising. I was being number 3.
Cleaning.
No, cooking.
Cooking
Together.
Cooking a dinner together.
A lot of people opt to have a fun night cooking at home. They make heart-shaped desserts and maybe a fancy recipe just to kind of work together, which is not a bad
well, if
idea.
you both like to cook, that would be, yeah.
I can make the toast and put butter on it. I'm really good at that. I'm really good with the toaster. So then it says, I don't know why it says this. It says flowers and chocolates.
Flowers and chocolates.
Classic, timeless, still the most popular tradition. Roses, tulips, lilies, box of chocolates. Bonus, a handwritten love note, which it would be a nice little touch.
Yeah.
Just add a little note to, how much you mean to me.
Yeah.
And I think if we didn't do vows. If we were to do vows.
Would you, the vows I would have come up with then would not be the same as today.
Well, no.
Now that you've gone through more
Yes.
and you realize what marriage was, like when we were going into it, you're thinking it's all lovey and
Yeah, we're young,
and you're stupid.
You have
Yeah.
sex twice a day, sometimes
did?
3 or 4 times a day.
Oh, did we ever do that?
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
remember.
You were a rabbit back
no,
then.
I wasn't.
You were a rabbit. No, but you're right. You're 100% right. It would be different if you and part of me.
They say in
feels bad that
sickness
we
and in
didn't-
health, but you really don't know what that means until you hit our age.
Yeah, that's right. Well, some people, unfortunately,
some people
get sick
do
even
have
earlier.
it earlier, but yeah.
And I think I saw a story where men are more likely to leave the woman if there's a sickness. If the woman becomes sick, the man
Because they don't know how to
leaves,
handle it.
where a woman will stick by her man.
Yeah, because
if there's an
they don't know
illness.
how to handle it, and they're not caregivers. You know what I mean?
What I was going to say before I forget is, I think it would. I wish now, not that I would remember, that we would have done vows, because I think it'd be fun to think about what we said then
and
for
what
our
we
vows,
would say now.
and then redo those vows. And again, it would be so different because we've gone through the journey,
yeah.
so many different journeys together. And has there been ups? Yes. There's been lots of ups, and there's been downs too. That's just life. But we've been able to magnify that.
No one can get through life without ever getting a punch.
Oh, there's going to be punches. I mean, my cancer scare, you've been sick and in and out of the hospital, and there's been a lot of things that we've gone through, ups and downs, family members that we've loved that are no longer with us. And it's quite a life, and you've got to be prepared for that. I think a lot of times young people get into marriage and they don't really think about that. It is work. It's not easy, and you have to work at it every day.
Yep.
And there's going to be things that irritate the crap out of you, and vice versa. And you have to work through this.
Family members that irritate us or whatever. And you have to learn to let things go and love your spouse through it.
Yes.
And not let other people interfere in your happiness.
And even if they do you're irritated or whatever, you have to remember these people are all different. They're going to have different ideas, but you should be able to agree to disagree.
Two different backgrounds.
Yeah, two different.
And
your background and mine are very different.
Oh yeah, our childhoods were very different.
You
never moved.
Never moved.
Our kids more or less have your background now, though.
Yeah, we were try to be as stable
as
you can.
Mm-hmm.
As humanly
there
possible.
were layoffs and stuff where our money was tighter, and we've lived through those things, but yet we were always able to keep the stable environment for our kids. And my environment growing up was not that stable. Couple of moves, and alcoholism all through it.
Yeah, that's. I think that's the biggest thing. Is we had my dad went through a very, very short thing of gambling, and then that didn't last long at all. It wasn't like he
couldn't stop.
He did stop, but that's the only thing that I can remember.
The thing that I remember most, my dad got help when I was 9.
Right.
Which did change our dynamics, but we moved one more time after that. And I think that was for him to have a fresh start with new people and not have to look around and,
Yeah. I mean, what you went through as a child, and to be able to be where you are, a lot of kids, there's trauma. They're a little traumatized by, depending on the situation.
But if you talk to even my siblings, they will say our childhood was not bad and that they had everything great. They thought things were funny that I thought was scary.
Right. Because I think age probably played into that too. You were a lot
age
younger.
And sensitivity. I was more of a sensitive person. I'm more sensitive, and because I remember they called me baby. My siblings called me baby a lot because I got scared and I cried over things more easily than the rest of them. So,
but I think if we were to do vows right now, I would say to you, how you've made me a better person all the way around. I think that I have more of a faith than I used to have. And, I'd probably, not that I always believed in God, but I think I have more faith than I did in the beginning. I still want to read the Bible, which I haven't read a book, and I'm not happy. I'm not proud about that. That's not a proud moment, not to ever read a book. I've read children's books to the kids,
but not
and to our grandkids, but I haven't read a book. I lose it.
Like a novel all the way through. You've never done.
I lose. I get, and it's not just that. It's not a book. It's anything. Like I'll start reading something I think is interesting, and I'll get halfway through the paragraph, and my mind says, I'm
done with this. But yet you're able to put these stories together.
Yeah, but they're
for this.
short. You notice how they're not
they're
long. Or I try not to be long.
Well, I would say you taught me to lighten up a lot. You've always had a good sense of humor and to look at the brighter side of things.
That's my mom.
Sometimes I have a heavy heart for things, and you always make me look at the better side.
Well, but something
good can come out of it.
That's a special thing too, though, to have the heavy heart when people are going through a tough time. And unfortunately, we are having, some tough times with some friends of ours, and our prayers go out to anyone that's having a tough time. And that is something to have a heavy heart for someone that shows the care, and you reach out and you ask for help, and you can only help when they want help. That's all you can do. And I think both of us have grown. I do wish I'd be a better communicator. There's things I need to work on. Obviously, that's always going to be the way. But I think I don't know what I'd do without you. Honestly, that's the truth. Life, there's been, times, I'm sure you want your time and my time. We sit down and we have these podcasts, or they're nice. I like doing that. I need to be more open. I'm open. I tell you just about everything, really.
Yeah,
but I just like certain things that I just put things away, and I try to be helpful, and I'm a little too helpful sometimes. And people say, "What do you mean? At least he's helping." Well, yeah, but
when you can't find something for an hour, it's not that.
There's
helpful.
A good help and a bad help, and if that makes any sense. But I think we've grown together in a lot of ways over a lot of different.
Oh, I think so too.
Events.
We've learned to live together a lot better.
Sure.
We overlooked the clothes on the floor that didn't make it in the hamper. We had different people fight over things like that. Like, can't you even put your clothes in there? Because one partner always feels like they did all the work in the relationship, and and the other one took advantage of it.
Just when you think your problems are bad, trust me,
somebody's got way
10
worse
times. First, you think you have first world problems, and believe me, when you sit down and you think about parents taking their kids to Children's Hospital or St. Jude's, or you see these kids my heart goes out to them, because I have to sit back, and my mom's always been that way. She looks at the bright side. She always has. Mm-hmm. And she's been through a lot. Going through with my dad, and God bless her for all she did.
Over 20 years now.
Yeah. And what she did for all those years. And, so
learned to be his nurse, learned to do everything.
Yeah. But anyway, okay. So flowers and chocolates, that's number 4. Number 5 is weekend getaways. People like to just get away. And when they get away, they want to take a little trip, maybe go to the mountains, maybe a beach retreat.
Or if they like ball games.
Hotel stay, just to get away.
Maybe your favorite ball team isn't from your city closest, so you have to go across,
Sometimes getting away is not a bad idea either.
Yeah.
So you already mentioned number 6, spa dates. There's also creative dates where people go to painting classes, hot air balloon rides, concerts. You talked about concerts.
Concerts I can see you doing, but I can't see you going to a painting date or a hot air balloon.
The hot air balloon I would not do, but
the painting,
I don't know. I might. I can't paint.
But
I would sit there and try.
I went to one in SIP classes
with
girlfriends and with my sister, but not ever. I've never even thought of asking you because I didn't think you'd go.
Here's what got me. Alan and his wife have been going to these things. They make glass, beautiful. These glass like fixtures and stuff.
Oh, now that would be
that
nice.
was really neat. He showed me some of that stuff, and they also went. I thought they did paintings. He did a great job. So I thought that's kind of a neat idea that they're trying to connect, doing other things. I thought that was pretty neat. So creative maybe going to escape rooms. So couples are looking to spice things up. And then there's acts of service. And that is basically sometimes the sweetest thing you can do is something thoughtful, breakfast in bed, cleaning the house, or handling a task that maybe you don't like.
You know that they don't want to do and they're
Right,
dreading
just,
and
"I'll
putting
do
off.
it."
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll just do it.
Sometimes that really helps. Celebrating friendship, Valentine Day and Valentine's Day for friends are also booming. People host brunches, give small gifts, or they plan outings with their besties. It's a neat idea. And finally, some self-care for singles. If you're single, you should embrace yourself by indulging in things like spa days, bring yourself a nice gift, bring a favorite series, or hosting anti-Valentine Day parties if you have to go that far. But hopefully you don't have to do it that much. So just some things that people are doing to celebrate Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Did I really say
Valentine's. You said
Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving, Valentine's
Yeah,
Day.
Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day. My brain is sometimes, it's not there. 1 in 7 Americans in serious relationships said their partner doesn't do enough to show that they desire them. This is according to new research.
Do you feel that way? I mean, you're always after me.
Yeah,
so
I think so.
I know you.
If you want me to be
desire me.
perfectly honest, sometimes I would like it to be the other way. I hate
and I used to
forcing
get that
myself.
every once in a while.
Oh yeah, you did.
I don't know. I think lately there's so much on my mind.
I know.
And
I know. But
and
then
I think I was this way when our kids were little too. When our kids were little,
I don't
there
know,
was
it's-
very rarely a time that
sometimes you were the aggressor.
but
Not often, but more than now.
I know, but I remember there were days when I had a rough day with the kids.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and I would lock myself in the bathroom for
Yeah.
a bath. Calgon, take
Take
me
you
away.
away.
And that was my
Yeah.
only, we didn't have money to do any of those other things. So
No, we
that
didn't.
was my only escape but you would take the kids and play ball in the back room or watch a movie with them or whatever we could do so that I could just have an hour to soak in the tub and just get away from it all.
Yeah, I mean, there's times I wish you kind of, be a little more every now and then, but because I just feel like
part of it
I
is
feel like it's
health and-
one-sided, and I feel bad because I'm like, am I the only one that really wants to do this? So, yeah, I talked to my hand a little bit and say, there's a blister. I don't know if that's going to work.
One of our friends used to say that's what God gave to
Yeah,
gave you two
I know.
hands for.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. So
Made
anyway,
us all chuckle. Ha, ha, ha.
a survey of 2,000 sexually active adults in committed relationships found that nearly 100% of respondents said they believe it's important to show your partner that you love them and you want to be intimate with them. However, nearly 1 in 5 admit that being physically intimate with their partner has been a low or non-existent priority over the past year. So here are some relationship goals that people have for the coming year. Number 10, find new ways to be intimate. Number 9, focus on new adventures.
Hold your hand.
Yeah, hold your hand. Yeah. Number 8, build trust, which is important. Number 7, be intimate more regularly. Number 6, learn, grow together. Number 5, plan for the future. Number 4, say I love you more, which we do say we
A lot.
Sometimes I forget who I'm talking to.
And you say you
And I
love
almost say,
to
I love you.
someone at work.
It's like, dang.
Because we say it to
Because
the
we
kids
do say
a
it to
lot
kids.
too.
The kids say it to us.
Yeah.
And I love that. Zachary did it today. Love you. It's like,
Yeah.
and you don't hear kids say that. So
Yeah.
you just, when you hear it,
And
just
it makes you
kinda suck
feel
in.
appreciated. And maybe that's why I don't feel like I gave up to watch my grandchildren
Oh,
or
no,
to
you
watch
didn't.
the dog today.
You didn't.
I am.
You did the
I
right
feel
thing.
that my kids appreciate those things that I do for them.
Yeah,
And
they do.
God tells us to take care of our families and our animals. And so it doesn't seem like a big chore to me to do those things. Sometimes it does feel like work, like the time goes slow when I've been 2-3 days in a row because the routine gets monotonous. But that's just like your job when you have a 5-day-a-week job. I mean, some days seem like they drag forever because the monotony, at least when I was working, it was, because I did the same thing. Answer the phone, answer the door, do this, do that.
There's some slow days.
It was the same. It was the same thing. Even if it was busy, it was like the same thing every day, you know.
Number 3, spend more time together. Number 2, improve communication, which I think is huge.
Yeah.
Number 1, be positive to one another. And I think it's a great way to finish this series, this podcast, because if we're talking about Valentine's Day, we're talking about being good to your partner. All of these things apply.
Mm-hmm.
Trustworthiness, togetherness, understanding that your needs are not as important as her needs. You know what I'm saying? Like, and vice versa.
If you're thinking of the other person's needs, then you're not being so selfish in your own.
Yeah. I mean, you're coming back. I knew Mondays, doing a podcast on a Monday is tough because I lose you. You're tired. Yesterday we did this. I
think that the drive home kind of calms the drive home kind of.
Well, you're busy all day too.
I'm busy all day, diapers. And then I'm watching traffic and people do some stupid things on the road on the way home, and that just mentally tires me out.
It does, and I think we're going to have to come up with a different way on Mondays to do it, or find another day, because I noticed when you sat down, you were tired, and when you're like today, I'll be honest, I think this podcast was great.
Compared to yesterday.
Yeah, because you were really...
We didn't read your questions off.
Oh, we can do that. We still have time. Yeah, we have time. So we asked some questions, but yeah, I thought today was really good. So we did some questions online. So let's talk about that. Give me a second to find it. And it's very simple. Just go here and then there. So 2 questions that I asked. One of them was, how did your parents tell you about sex and babies? And I never had the talk. You never had the talk. And
my mom just gave us the advice to not neck in cars. That's what got her in trouble.
That's right. Yeah, and you necked with me in the car.
Not like we didn't.
We were Dairy Queen.
Not for hours though. We ate ice cream.
No, it wasn't hours.
We had a few kisses. We didn't sit there with no ice cream. She meant like go parking
and go in the back seat.
And just neck.
We never made it to the back seat.
No.
But I never. And then I'm starting to think, boy, my poor kids never got to talk either, because I never told them.
You never told them.
I think they knew more than we did anyway. But that's beside the point. They did
just from their sex ed class, because the sex ed class we had and the sex ed class they had probably advanced a lot.
Oh, I'm sure.
From the time we were in it to the time they were in it.
But the concept is still the same.
Ours told us the birds and the bees and what happened to the girl's body and the boy's body, and
right,
how to put it together, and that was about it. Isn't
that that's it though, isn't it? I mean, it's still the same.
I think nowadays they go more into sexually transmitted
if
diseases.
you're going to be multiple partners.
They go into a lot more education.
Yeah, probably. Not so much just the deed, but the other things that surround it.
That you can get from it. Yeah.
Ned said they didn't. I learned in health class. We have 9 girls and 3 boys. We educated each other. Penny said, health class. Kimberly said, I'm still waiting to learn. Matt said, in school. I can't remember the teacher's name, but you knew the teacher's name. The dreaded sex ed class. And then Mark said the same thing, health class for me. And I think I always think of Raymond, because Raymond was going to go up to talk to Everybody Loves Raymond, the daughter, about sex, but it's not really what she wanted to know. She wanted to know why we were here.
I was
blindsided. I was blindsided.
And he said because heaven is congestion.
Yeah, he said it was heavenly. It's heavenly congestion.
Is why we're
He said, how Disney World is. You wouldn't want to be up there when it's that busy. And then I asked the question, is it okay to stand at a concert when others are sitting? And we went to a James Taylor concert, but they're not going to stand. I guess it depends on the concert, right? If you're standing or not. I haven't been to a lot of concerts.
But the thing about it is, if you are in a sitting area, you sit because you're blocking other people's view.
Yeah, that's what Penny
said. And
that
is, it's rude to stand up. I mean, unless you have a major problem and you're like going to the bathroom and then you're just passing by, you're not standing right in front of someone. you know.
Yeah, Penny said it's one of my biggest pet peeves. I paid for a seat for a reason. I want to sit and enjoy the concert. I don't want to have to stand up to see the entertainer. It's front row balcony for me all the way, which it makes sense because when you're in the front row.
Well, I mean, unless you're one of those standing, you know how some of them have standing room down by the
Go
stage.
in the aisleway then or
Right,
something.
but some of them tickets are like that. And
True.
so if you're short, you probably wouldn't want to buy a ticket.
No, you
like
wouldn't want
that.
to do that. That's true. Tracy said the same thing. Makes me crazy when people stand in front of her. Mona said, no, I do not like people standing in front of them either. So just a couple questions we ask. And we appreciate all the answers for sure. Hopefully we'll get some more for next week. And hopefully you have a nice and a happy Valentine's Day. You get to be with your Valentine. And if you don't, well, hopefully, depending on where they are, you maybe send a little note saying you're thinking about him or her, because I think it's important. And really appreciate all the listeners. And who knows, maybe by the end of this year, we'll actually be on video. We'll try it out and see what it does, because I'm starting to teeter like how much longer I want to
Do this.
So,
And I keep telling you need to keep it for something to do in your retirement.
well, I've got things to do. Kids are keeping me busy all the time. I'm busier now.
They're going to get bigger.
Yeah, I know, but
And then
we're going to be running
there'll
to
be
hopefully soccer games or baseball games or who knows
something.
what.
Hopefully they'll have something there.
Hopefully.
Into.
Flute concerts. I don't know.
Yeah, who
Whatever.
knows?
But thanks so much for listening. Don't forget, every Monday we have a new episode. Please subscribe and like, especially if you're on YouTube. We'd appreciate that. And like I said, we're considering trying to find the cheapest way to put our mugs on the screen. I don't know. I just don't know. I won't know until we do it, to be honest.
Yeah, and we won't know if it helps or hurts.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Until we do it.
And also you can follow us on Facebook or X at Just Talkin', TALKIN Out Loud. And we really appreciate all the support. Thanks for everything. And we are out.
Have a great Valentine's week.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's show.